Cancelled.
Schweezy.
All right. This is from Variety. This is our big article of the week. Crisis at Marvel, Jonathan Majors' backup plans, The Marvels reshoots, reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed. Okay, so this isn't the actual article. I had ChatGPT make it shorter because the article is long as fuck, and it would be an entire podcast on that if we wanted to. All right. Marvel's recent changes in September. Marvel faced a gloomy atmosphere during its annual retreat in Palm Springs. This was a departure from their usual confident and successful demeanor. The studio had been dealing with a series of disappointments in its recent on-screen releases, including issues related to a legal scandal involving one of its major stars. Jonathan Majors, legal troubles. Jonathan Majors, an actor poised to play a significant role in the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was facing a trial on domestic violence charges. This has led to concerns with Marvel about how to handle his character, Kang the Conqueror, and the future of the MCU. Marvel considered backup plans, including pivoting to other characters like Doctor Doom. Problems with overexpansion. Marvel's ambitious strategy to expand its brand beyond movies into streaming had led to an overwhelming amount of superhero content, which some viewed as excessive. This demand for continuous content production had stretched Marvel's resources and led to issues with quality control and a muddled narrative and confused viewers. The Marvels film issue, the Marvels upcoming movie, The Marvels, a sequel to Captain Marvel, faced problems with lengthy reshoots and was expected to underperform at the box office. The film's budget was high, and tracking suggests a less successful opening compared to previous Marvel films. VFX problems and unionization. Issues with the visual effects. VFX in Marvel productions had become apparent with some instances of poor CGI and quantum media. This led to discontent among Marvel's VFX workers, who unanimously voted to unionize in September 2023 due to long hours and low pay. Staff changes. Victoria Alonso, who oversaw physical production, post-production, VFX, and animation at Marvel, was fired due to concerns about the declining quality control of Marvel productions, particularly on the TV front. The firing was attributed to her unauthorized role as an executive producer on a different project and her failure to address the VFX issue. Dilution of quality. The excessive volume of Marvel content was potentially causing audiences to become fatigued, leading to lower quality perceptions and reduced interest in Marvel projects, including podcasts and article. Scrapping unsuccessful projects. Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel, was reported to be discontinuing scripts and projects that were not performing well or facing issues. For instance, the Blade reboot had gone through multiple writers and directors, and it was facing budget constraints and script problems. The future of Marvel. To revive Marvel, Disney is considering returning to an Avengers movie with the original cast, even if they were previously killed off. The acquisition of Fox's assets, including X-Men and Fantastic Four, could offer opportunities to rejuvenate the franchise. However, there's concern within the industry that Marvel's best days might be behind it. In summary, the article paints a picture of Marvel facing numerous challenges and setbacks ranging from legal troubles with key actors to issues with overexpansion, quality control, and internal labor disputes. These challenges have raised questions about the future direction and success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, let me break these down. I am the last to the party when it comes to whatever this is. And so in my mind, I'm just thinking here, just like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's go into individual projects. I have a lot of opinions on this. And the first one, obviously talking about their Palm Springs thing. A lot of this information was leaked, and I have been wanting creative spaces, and especially in rooms.
This is America, you dumb son of a bitch, okay?
Where, we're trying to throw out creative ideas or trying to problem solve. And a lot of times you just throw out a bunch of ideas, and sometimes one works, sometimes something doesn't. You just got to see, you throw out an idea, then you let someone else, be processed through someone else's brain, stuff like that. So I think a lot of these were just like people sitting in a meeting just being like, all right, our quality, our content is declining. What can we do to do it better? And, someone is like, oh, let's bring back the original Avengers. People are just throwing out ideas. So I feel like some of these are not like, everyone's like, they're bringing back the original Avengers. I'm like, no, I'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, it may have just been a whatever, Jonathan Majors, obviously, if you don't know, Jonathan Majors, there was a domestic dispute, I think is the correct word, with him and I guess now his ex, and So the dispute, basically, if you look at like even evidence that Jonathan Majors is bringing forward, like he was smart to lawyer up quick and stuff like that. Basically, the dispute happened. Basically, what was supposedly happened, and I think Jonathan Majors has the receipts on this. His girlfriend attacked him, and I guess in the process, she hurt herself as well. Obviously, eventually the cops came, and I guess, in the situation, Jonathan Majors got arrested because obviously cops are the worst people to exist, and Jonathan Majors is black. And I generally think like they just arrested him for that. And then, more stuff is coming out. He has, there's a trial going on, and no one really knows what to think about it because like what Jonathan Majors is showing is just like he's actually the victim. I think that chick, Grace Jabari, I think is her name. I think she got arrested for that. So very confusing. And then Rolling Stone released an article about like Jonathan Majors, like some chick he dated didn't like him or whatever and said he was the worst. And then people who worked on a movie with him, and I don't know. Like, one, I don't know. I don't want to victim blame here, but there is something. I don't think Marvel, like, I don't know how many people are actually straight up, like, defending, like, you just let Jonathan Majors go. He didn't do anything wrong. But, like, we're also, like, like, let's just, And I think Marvel's doing the right thing and just wait and see how things plan out and stuff like that. And I like that. I think it's a little too soon. I mean, it's okay to introduce Doctor Doom. Like, Marvel really needs to start. They're really going to get rolling, at least teasing the Fantastic Four in, like, official shows and stuff like that. I heard there's leaks to the Marvels, but I don't know the post-credit scene yet. So, yeah, no, I think with that, I think we're just waiting. And I think at the end of the day, don't switch to Doom, even though he is an important character in Secret Wars. Like, Marvel did... people were like, how are you going to do Secret Wars without Doctor Doom? Like, they still can. It's just not going to be the same Doctor Doom. Like, they did Thanos without Mistress Death, and it worked perfectly. It was actually a better version of the story. He's like, I'm trying to impress some chick, so I'm going to kill everyone. Versus, I want to save the universe, so I'm going to kill everyone. And stuff like that. They did that. They made Tony Stark the creator of Ultron, and I think generally that worked out, too. Like, you think about it later, like, we were all like, I can't believe they're making Tony Stark the inventor of Ultron when it's supposed to be Hank Pym. And then the next Marvel movie introduces Hank Pym into the MCU. So, and stuff like that. And, overall, I think they made it work. Maybe it could have been cooler. They could have done a lot more with Ultron. At the end of the day, like, I think it'll work with Kang. Especially if I think I'm hearing rumors correctly, like, I haven't seen the last episode of Loki yet. It comes out the day after this episode comes out, but like Loki becomes like a version of like the Beyonder, and like he's creating an army to take down Kang, and so he's getting the best Avengers from the multiverse, and that leads into Deadpool, yada yada yada. So yeah, definitely that. Over expansion, yeah, they have been doing way too much, and I think it was a good, it was the idea itself was a good idea. I think the Bob Chapek was like, let's get more content going. Let's get some more content. So like, yeah, we're gonna approve. And at the end of the day, it's like we're gonna give you guys a bigger budget, and like we're gonna make more content and stuff like that. And in regards to how Marvel's been working out, yeah, and just making it spread too thin, it's not really working it out unless it'd be something like remember when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s like, this doesn't matter, like these shows don't matter, they don't count, but yeah, they definitely, I loved when it, like every week there was a new Marvel thing or a Star Wars thing on, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'd probably rather like be really excited when one comes out being like, oh, here's the new thing this week, So yeah, we all know they've been spread too thin, and I think they're going to get it. I think with the Multiverse Saga, it's just going to be one of those, had a rough start, but they're going to nail the landing. That's how I feel it's going to go, and people are worried more about that. I think I can... they talk about the characters. Yeah, I think we talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, the Marvels film, I haven't seen it yet, but people are already like, it sucks, this movie sucks. Like, the movie's not even out yet. I get so goddamn annoyed when people are like, this movie already sucks, and the movie hasn't come out yet. Like, the people are like, like when Barbie and Oppenheimer came out, people said before the movies came out, like, these are going to be the best movies of all time. It's so weird. People are just going to be like, this movie's so good. And then another thing, because I'm like, this sucks already. I'm like, watch a movie first and then decide if you like it or not. Okay. Like, don't say something sucks if you haven't seen it. Watch it first and then make an opinion. I get so annoyed with people who have like opinions on shit they haven't read, especially people who are like, oh, that's very Machiavellian of you. Like, have you read The Prince? They're like, no. I'm like, I have. So you don't know what you mean. You don't no clue what you're saying. So that's my issue with the Marvels. I haven't seen it. I'll have next week. We're going to talk about Loki and the Marvels. So hope you all get excited.
You bet I'm coming up in May.
VFX problems and unionization. Yeah, they needed to form a union. Definitely. The CGI just seems stretched thin. I remember they were like, it takes like 5 years to make a movie with CGI, and now it's like, yeah, we can do like a year. Like, we can do a turnaround pretty quick. And yeah, you're starting to notice, even in like No Way Home, the train Doctor Strange v Spider-Man scene, like you can tell when it's like a green screen background. Not where I'm at if you're watching, but yeah, no, the CGI unionizing was a good thing. Like, it definitely shows the quality over quantity. The quantity isn't working for Marvel, especially because they require so much VFX. Because, and like Feige's opinions are, let's make the movie and then change everything after that and do reshoots and stuff like that. That's a big thing, or VFX, like what we need to do. And so, if you need good VFX, then you really need to less stuff going on so they can prioritize the content more. And if someone's being paid, definitely a job like that, if they have to do overtime, they get paid overtime. Don't try to work around that shit. Staff changes. I don't know. I mean, with the VFX issues, Victoria Alonso, I feel like Victoria Alonso wants to do different things, and then I think Marvel needed to downsize. A lot of Disney downsizing has been going on, mainly because they're like, quantity is not working for us. Let's get back to quantity. Yeah, disillusion of quality. Yeah, you can definitely too much stuff, and the quality just dipped a little bit. So, and like I said, and honestly, I love the Marvel stuff. I think the only real unforgivable project they've had was Secret Invasion, because it just seemed like no one gave a shit besides like the actors, and like the actors are doing like these like 10 out of 10 performances to like dog shit. It's like cooking a turd like at a 5-star restaurant. Like, it's still a fucking turd, dude. Scrapping unsuccessful projects. I think this is okay, but right now they're going to be scrapping a lot of shit that's like, because when they first started, they had like B team, the Avengers, the B team, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, like that's who they had. And then now that like those characters are kind of the veterans and retiring, they're introducing new heroes, and really those heroes aren't that popular. The Echo show looks fucking awesome, because I think it's going to be a lot of Kingpin, and Kingpin just being a fucking psycho. It looks awesome, but like Echo as a character, like they're at that point where you're like, let's try to make any character work for us. And like that, it's just sometimes some characters, especially in the Marvel universe, really only work if they're just like in someone else's story. And like, it's nice with Echo, like, oh, you get like a background on her, and then when they eventually make the new Daredevil show, like hopefully she shows up and you just know her and see her around from time to time. But we don't need a ton of Echo content. Like, she's just good to show up in other people's content, and like Wonder Man, that sounded bad. Like, even like the Agatha show doesn't even seem that good, unless they're going to set up like all the magic shows, and movies. Like, they don't sound like they're going to work unless they're going to do a Midnight Suns. They're eventually leading up to the Midnight Suns. Like, Midnight Suns and Young Avengers are like the only two that you don't really see coming. Thunderbolts you kind of saw coming, and now that's confirmed. The future of Marvel, oh yeah, when they bring back the OG Avengers, I'm like, I don't know. Like, obviously you're hearing about Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson signing contracts right now, and I think, if I believe right, what they're planning to do is it's probably for Secret Wars, and obviously give them a big ass check and like make that like the biggest movie. Like, they're wanting to overdo Endgame. You got to do that. That's why I think like the end goal, I think they're gonna nail it. Like Secret Wars, I think they're just gonna nail that movie. It's just we got to get there first, and it's been a kind of rough patch getting there. And I think lowering the amount of content is really gonna help that out and stuff like that. So that's gonna be real cool because it sounds like Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire are gonna be two of the leads, and I think it's just two of the leads you didn't expect to be a lead. And everyone's like, it's just gonna be their movie. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I think it'd be a cool idea. At the end of it, they kind of want to reboot, in a sense, the Marvel Universe. And so I think that's the best way to do it is with Secret Wars. And that way, like, you still have, like, Doctor Strange. 'Cause I think Benedict Cumberbatch will do it as long as, like, they're making good stories. I think Anthony Mackie's up for doing stuff as long as he can. I think Mark Ruffalo even said, like, yeah, I'm going to keep doing this as long as they'll have me. Which is awesome for the Hulk because the Hulk is supposed to be... There's, like, one comic story where, like... Bruce Banner / the Hulk is the last living person on Earth, and like Bruce is like ancient and old, but with how the gamma radiation works, anytime it's like he's in danger or like dying, the Hulk takes over. And I don't know, there's a lot of good Hulk stories they can still tell in the MCU. So I think they just need to nail the landing to get to Secret Wars, and then after that, Fantastic Four and X-Men, like it'll be a cakewalk after that, like. And then you have Spider-Man a little bit too. Like, it's going to be a cakewalk. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think, the meeting was like, let's move forward. We got to lower quantity, got to raise quality, and move on from there. So, obviously that. I think Marvel's going to be in a good place. Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom to get back up. And I really hope the Secret Invasion is rock bottom for Marvel. Please don't tell me they can go lower. Like, I don't think they're not the kind of people who make Morbius, but like, oh my god, dude, that's one of those nose itch days, folks. Thank you for watching this clip.